to be making on Friday. So we want to have both, right? So we want to be able to like have both equipped and then swap them out somehow with a baton. Now, first of all, we have to make it so, you know, where's the player? First, we have to make it so we can have like 2 classes in here or something, not just one. So I'm actually gonna make this an array. Instead of doing just a variable, I'm gonna make an array of classes, and then we'll sort of instantiate them all, one by one. Does that sound cool to you guys? I know you like arrays.
Sounds complicated.
What do you say?
Sounds complicated.
Yeah, bro. Fucking that's where we breed as programmers, in the complicatedness. Oh no, I closed them all and now Shift Alt O doesn't work. Bouncy Boy. When did we write this?
That was like day one.
That was like day one. Holy shit, it's still there. Let's see here. So let's go into player. So go into fuck player. Fuck the player, fuck the player. So instead of just having a weapon class, just like a boring, dull ass fucking variable, instead I'm gonna make this an array of T subclasses. Alright? So remember, the way you make arrays is T array. So that's Unreal's array class. So if I want to make like an array of ints, I'll do array and then int within crocodile mouths. Hopefully this is not super alien to you guys. This is how it works in, you know, C#, std vector, everything. It's not at all very different from those. So what's the type? Well, the type is this T subclass of a weapon base. So we're just gonna do a T array of that. So I'm just gonna do T array of type T subclass of a weapon base. So we're gonna have fucking double crocodile mouth, baby. Yes. You guys feeling the hype? The look of disgust on Frederick's face. It's like, I don't like this. Alright, so we have an array of weapon classes. So let's just see what that looks like, alright? So I'm just gonna compile and see it's like blow up. I can't. No. It's gonna blow up somewhere. It's gonna blow up here. So I'm just gonna remove this for now, just so we can see what the array looks like. So I'm just gonna comment this out really quick. No one has to see. I should prepare like a list of jokes or something. Yeah, I should. That's what I should do. I should have like a list of jokes. So every time I compile, I tell a joke. Would you guys like that?
Programmer puns. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's how you get to the kids these days. You tell good jokes.
You're gonna need a long list.
Yeah, that's true. You need like a joke a minute or something. Okay, there we go. Okay, actually compile. That's amazing. I didn't think it would. So okay, so now when I go into fuck player, I call them weapon class. Still, I should have called them weapon classes, something like that. But now instead of being just one like little box here, it says 0 array elements. So this is what a Unreal array looks like in Blueprints. If we make an array as a U property, it will show up in this list, and it's well, this is what it looks like. So we can add stuff with this little plus button here. We can clear it, or we can just remove, you know, specific ones with the delete here. So now we can start adding as many classes as we want here. So I'll just add like I'll add the assault rifle and the grenade launcher. So I have both in this array now. Unity has something similar, right? If you make like a T, what is an array in C#? Is it list?
Yeah, it's list.
Okay, so if you make like a list in Unity, it shows up something like this in the specifier, right? Or in property browser.
Yeah.
Alright, it's been so long since I was in Unity. So okay, so I'm gonna call it weapon classes because that's what it should be called. Let's go compile. Hey yo, you know I suffer from stinky dick. Every time I take a piss, it smells just like shit. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and fill those out. And then cool. So now we have an array, also called a list. So right, okay, so when we instantiate those, instead of instantiating just one and just keeping it in a weapon, like a stinky weapon property, like we could do that if we're lame. But most likely we want to have like an array of weapons. The same thing we have an array of weapon classes, where we want to have an array of weapons. Of weapons. So I'm just gonna make an array of weapons, baby. Of a weapon base. Oh no. It's keyboard. Okay. There we go. So I'll call them weapons. So that's gonna be a list or an array of instantiated weapons. Okay. So how do we do this? Okay, so we want to for each weapon class, instantiate it and add it to the weapon list. So we could do, you know, a for loop, which looks like, you know, int I is equal to 0. I is fucking less than fucking weapon classes. Whoops. Num is how you get like the amount of like the size of the array. That's num. It's not size. Don't type size. You're gonna get fucked. Size is like I don't even know if size is available. Maybe it isn't. Okay, yeah, it's called allocated size. Alright, that's good. So that size is generally like how many elements have been allocated, rather than how many elements are like actually valid. Not something you need to put to memory, but num is the one you want to use. So we could do a stinky fucking regular for loop, like just the bunch of lame people, or we could do a for each loop. Have we done for each loops already? I think we already have done actually. So maybe I was gonna blow your gosh darn minds, but I guess I won't. So I'm gonna make an auto weapon class in weapon classes. So this will for each loop through the weapon classes array. And if you have used for each loop in C#, it's exactly the same thing. It will just like, you know, this is gonna be the variable, the temporary variable that's gonna be set to each element of weapon classes. Very simple. And then we're gonna instantiate each one of those. So I'm gonna do weapon base. Whoops. Weapon is equal to spawn actor. Oh, get worlds. Sorry, get worlds. Spawn actor. And then I'm going to not put anything in there. Then I'm going to do crocodile mouths, a weapon base. And here, again, I would probably use auto here. Here we go. You don't need to type auto pointer. Like, actually doing just auto will be fine. It will still be able to deduce that this type should be a pointer. But I always think it's nice to do auto pointer, just to like make it super clear that this is a pointer. This is not just a like a value variable of a weapon base. But yeah, it's not strictly needed, but nice of you to do it. So I'm gonna instantiate it. Oh, of course I need to put the class in here. I'm dumb. There we go. I hope this still works. I don't remember. Maybe I don't remember. So now we're instantiating each weapon class and putting it in the weapon variable, and then I'll just add it to the weapons array. So the weapons add weapon. Away a pawn. Cool. Any questions about this? Super clear. Oh, of course, it's not a weapon, it's not an auto pointer, right? Okay, of course. Because this array doesn't contain a bunch of pointers, it contains a bunch of T subclasses of, so that's why I was getting like a weird error here. It's supposed to just be auto. There we go. That's why it was getting weird. So you can do
You could still you could still auto ref so that you guarantee that you don't get a copy there. But like I don't know if it actually will, but yeah.
I guess
It's C++,
yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah, you can auto ref here. Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do. I don't know actually what's in that T subclass of. It's probably just a name. It sort of sometimes refing is less worth it. It's a Q class pointer. Okay, so in this case it probably wouldn't be worth doing a ref, but whatever, it's fine. I want to go back. Oh no. Okay, whatever. All right, cool. So let's F5. Because sometimes the time, like for the compiler, the time to make a pointer to send into the function, like if you're doing a const reference, sometimes the time it takes for it to actually make a pointer and send that in is more time than just copying it. So for some values that are less than I think like 8 bytes, at least at Hazelight we always have the policy to be like if it's less than 8 bytes or less, then you just do a value, because that's actually cheaper for the compiler, but not that it matters much.
That makes a huge amount of sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's less than the size of a pointer, yeah.
Let's see. Fucking me, yeah. What? I looked at the error and I was like, yeah, that doesn't matter. Why is the edit? Why is our enemy not compiling? This is happening with my life. Oh, okay. Let's get rid of this. So these are the old events that I removed. So I'm just gonna delete those. There we go. Yay! Hooray! Okay. So now, in our player, we have the arrays here, and we are instantiating them. I hope. I mean, I don't have proof, but probably. So let's see then. When we shoot, I guess we'll start with this shooting the first weapon. So you can do weapons, 0. What did we call it? Like fire? I think it was called fire, yeah. So I'll just fire the first weapon just to test that out. Okay. Let's see. So now when I left click, nothing happens. I'm gonna try it again. It no work. It no work. Okay, so let's see why is this happening. So let's break here in fire. Fire. What? The source code is different. Yeah, but compile it then. I don't understand. Let's just restart. IDK, bro. IDK. Okay, let's try now. Pow. Okay. Let's just check this array, see what it's like. Okay, so the array looks good. Like this is an assault rifle. It's a BP assault rifle, so it looks good. Ah, okay, so player owner is null. Okay, so that's probably where it's going wrong then. So we forgot to set the player owner of the guns. So that's probably why this is not working. That's silly of me. So let's just... Whoop. Oh, and now it actually crashed. Okay, cool. So now it crashed here because we're trying to get the camera of the player owner, but the player owner is null pointer. So we're dereferencing a null pointer. Not good. So let's just go into for player, and then when we add it, we also set the player owner here. Equal to this. There we go. And now I predict no problems. Nothing's gonna go wrong. Nothing's gonna go wrong. And if something goes wrong, then I'm sorry.
Is this how you would do it if you would do it optimally? Like set the player as the like the owner, and have a specific point in code where you would instantiate the bullets, or would you like attach it somehow to the player? Or was that just like a temporary solution because it was easier, or you wanted to show us something?
Well, I would probably always... are you talking about this, like setting the player owner here when you're spawning? This is probably how I would do it always, honestly. Email Hazelight, I would have like a player owner variable and set that when I create the weapon. If it needs to know about the player. Sometimes it doesn't, but in this case it probably does. But yeah, usually this is how I would do it, because it's just very convenient. Okay, nice. So now I can shoot my assault rifle. And I can shoot this guy. And he die. Okay, so now I want to switch it up, right? So I want to, mid-game, I want to be like, pew pew, high octane action. And it's like, oh no, something's creeping up about me. And it's many people. So I want to switch out to my grenade launcher and be like, fucking area of effect damage. So let's create a nice baton for switching guns. So I'm just gonna go into inputs and action mappings, and now I'm gonna call it switch weapon. And it's gonna be the Q key, because you know, it's cool. So in here, so I'm gonna make a handle switch weapon input. Whoops. Like so. And then here I'm gonna just bind it, so I'll do a bind switch weapon to handle. Oops. Switch. There we go. So I'm binding that input. So do you guys have any ideas about how I would do this? Like how would we design it? So when we click the button, we switch out which weapon we call when we're doing this shoot input here.
I would just have like a current weapon variable that I would set in start to be like the first one, and then I guess an integer of like its place in the array, and then just add to that, and then have it loop over. I guess maybe there's a better solution.
No, I think that's a good solution actually. We can even skip the first part of it where we have we can only have the integer, because since we have the array, we don't really need like the variable keeping the current weapon. We can always like get the current weapon by just checking what the integer is.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea that we just make an integer that's like current weapon index. set that to 0 by default, and then we just increment the integer like you said, and then make it loop around when it reaches the end. So we're gonna have a current weapon index, and then when we handle switch weapon inputs, then we do current weapon index ++. And then when we do handle shoot input, instead of just getting the first one like dummies, we're gonna do the current weapon index. So we're gonna fetch the weapon that's at index current weapon index, and we're gonna fire that particular weapon. Cool. I don't think anything will go wrong from this, actually. I think it looks like solid code.
You forgot to...
Okay.
Okay. No, this is gonna work. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, thanks,
Everything is
bro.
gonna-
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm a coder,
Amazing.
by the way. Yeah, so you should have wins there. So that was good catch of you. That most likely something is gonna go wrong, but just for science sake, let's see what happens. Joke. What do you call? Okay, it's done. Okay, nice. Thank God, I didn't have anything. So now when I shoot, it works, and then when I press Q, amazing! I shoot my other gun now. Very cool. And then when I hit Q. Okay, and then when I shoot... Wow. Okay, so yeah, we crashed. And that's because, we didn't loop around our index. So what happens? We're trying to fetch an entry in this array that's bigger than the array actually is. So we have to make sure that we loop this around to a valid index. So the way I like to do this, there's multiple ways of doing it. But I like to do let's just do ++, like I did. Whoops. ++, and then I just do current weapon index equals current weapon index mod weapons. There we go. So that will just make sure that they're always looping around the number of weapons. Do you guys know about mods?
I think there's a compound mod assignment as well. Wanna do-
Compound?
Yeah, you can do mod equals weapon num, I think.
Oh. Oh, that's sexy.
You can do the increment in the same thing and have the whole thing in one line.
Oh my god. Actually, yeah, if I would write it, I would probably write it like this. It doesn't matter. +1. Do 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 do. Something like that. It's fine. When will this crash, everyone? What edge case have I not considered here?
Adding and removing weapons, or
0 weapons?
Yes, 0 weapons. If we don't have any weapons, then this will always crash because index 0 of an empty array will be out of range. In fact, any array index in an empty array will crash. So we could add like an if statement here or something if we really wanted to, but what's the odds of not having any weapons? It's not like we're gonna have weapon pickups. Oh no, we are. We'll handle it when we get to it. Hey Oliver. Okay, hey Oliver.
Hello.
So like turn it on for
Seriously?
a sec. Okay, so now I shoot my gunso, and then I press Q and I shoot my gunso number 2, and then I press Q and I shoot my gunso number 1 again. You know, like that meme, right? Like that meme. Alright, anyways. Yeah, I'm hip. Cool. So let's just for completeness sake, let's just make it so this guy actually does damage right now, because it doesn't. Since this uses the old like projectile response component, which was nice, but then I realized it was dumb. It doesn't do any damage to this guy right now. So even if I shoot him right square on, he still lives on. So let's just for completeness sake, let's just make sure that it also does damage. So I will go into grenade launcher. Okay. Oh yeah, it's fuck projectile. I should call it like grenade projectile or something if I were. Oh my. That's a nice background you got there. So okay, so instead of response component, I am going to get. I'm going to get the health components. So I'll do enemy health components. There we go. Health comp. And let's say we want to do damage based on how far away it is. So let's say we do like some base damage, and then based on the distance, we will have the damage drop off. I think that sounds like a pretty sick idea. So how would we get the distance if we want to do step 1? How will we get the distance? You don't have to talk in terms of like what function to call, but just like in theory, how will we get the distance between two actors?
Well, you get the world positions, subtract one with the other, and then get the magnitude.
Yes, exactly. Magnitude. Oh, you're such a Unity dev. In here we call them size, bro. The size of the thing.
Isn't that just what it's called in vector terms? Is
No,
that actually...
It might actually be, yeah.
No,
it
it's
might
called
be.
the
But
magnitude.
I'm a game developer, bro.
Size is something different, right?
Yes, I hate the word size. I think that's so dumb. But yeah, that's just what it is. So we get minus these bad boys. So we'll do actor, get act location, and then just get act location. And then we'll get the size of that. I think it's size. Yes, it is size. Okay, there we go. So size will return the length of the vector. Paradoxically. So yeah, I hate this fucking naming so much, but it's what it is. So, thanks, Sweeney. Although I don't like magnitude either. I think it should just be length. Okay, so that's the distance.
There is a static vector function that is just called distance that I usually use for clarity.
Yeah, it is actually. So we could have done f vector distance. There is dist actually, and that will actually just give the dist between two vectors. But it's I like it this way. It's more opaque, harder to understand. That's generally pretty good.
Can you do square magnitude so you don't do the square roots, or?
Yeah, you can do size squared.
Cool.
So you can
nice.
do. I think it's just size squared or size squared. I think. Size squared. Yeah, there it is. So that's always good in when doing distance comparisons. So if you want to say like, oh, is this inside a sphere, for example, so then you always want to do size squared instead of size, because it's faster.
What is it size it gives out?
Sorry?
What does actor location dot size return?
The length of the vector.
The length, okay.
Or the size, I guess. Size implies
Or
that it's like
the magnitude, for fuck's sake.
like
Like this, the size of a vector is
well.
three
I will
floats.
die on
I'm
this
sorry.
hill. Magnitude is equally bad. It should just be length. Magnitude's like, what is that?
We'll meet in the middle and call it length, but come on, size? Really?
Yeah, size is the worst though. Okay, anyways, so we have the distance, and now we want to make it fall off. Okay, so So if we want to get like, okay, if we want to get some sort of alpha or some sort of like scalar to see like, okay, how are we gonna scale the damage? And we want it to be 1 when it's like smack dab right on there. Then it's gonna be 1, and when we're at the edge of this sphere overlap, then we want to be 0. How would we do that?
We would do a divide.
Divide, baby.
We need our max distance. We need to know what that is before we do anything.
Yeah, it's
Which should
hard.
probably be tweakable in the blueprint, shouldn't it?
Oh, you're thinking like an actual coder right now.
Sorry. Okay, it should probably be a hard-coded value. that
There
only
we go.
know
Thank
about.
you. That's what I want to hear. It's gonna be hard coded in multiple places, so it's hard to change. So
We'll write a comment so everyone knows.
so we'll divide this by 300 because we just know that that's the range. I'm not advocating this actually, but it's fine. So now we have the damage scalar. So what will this value be? If we're right next to the actor, what will damage scalar be?
0.
And why is that?
Because the distance is 0, and
Yes.
0 divided by 300 is 0.
So how do we flip that? So it's when we're close, we're 1, and when we're far away, we're 0.
We
1
can do
minus.
1 minus.
1 minus. Oh, baby. Oops, I hit F1.
And then we should probably clamp it as well.
Oh, good point. Good point, my dear sir. So we'll do 1 minus, and then I'll clamp this. So I'll do fmath. Is there saturate? No, there's no saturate. I'll do. Okay, we'll just do a fucking clamp, whatever. Well, no, it went away.
Is it called saturate in Unreal terms as well? I thought that was just like a terrible naming convention for Unity.
I mean, it is a terrible name and everyone hates it, but I like the function, and I can't think of a better name for it than saturate. So.
Clamp 01.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call it clamp 01.
Yeah,
Clamp
saturate
01.
is,
But it's so ugly. Saturate is so pretty. It looks so nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
as
but
far as I
it's
know,
fair.
saturate is the like standard in shaders.
It's in.
Yeah.
I think it's only in HLSL. I don't think it's in GLSL at all. I think actually. But yeah, in HLSL it's saturate for some reason. They probably have some really good like mathematical reason for it. Especially with, it's like the same with magnitude. They're like, oh, it's mathematics. It's great. I don't know.
But magnitude is the actual term, right? It's the whatever. Yeah.
I'm dying on this hill. You can't change me. All right, so then we just do take damage here. So we'll do. Let's do a 2 damage by default, and then times that by. Yeah, you like hard-coded values, bitches. Hope you do. So there we go. So we're gonna do 2 times this damage scalar. And I see no problem with this. This red squiggly, so I probably it's fine. That's the wrong. Where the fuck is Unreal? There it is. But I just have the fucking like. I have the fucking when I wake up in the morning and I walk outside. That's all I have like in the loop in my head right now, because your fucking background. What's the difference between a okay, good, thank you. No, failed. Use a undefined type. Fine. I said, hey, what's going on? Here we go. Nice. So now, if we shoot him with the grenade launcher, then, because if I shoot him like at the very edge, Yeah, so there it took like 0 damage on the first one, and then it took like 0.4 damage or something on the second one. Then like there it took like 1, and then if I shoot him in the face now, yeah, he took almost 2. There's still a bit of a difference because it's sort of getting the difference between the 2 actors, and the actor location might be further away than the closest point on the primitive. If we were really, really like good programmers, we would probably get like the closest point on the primitive and compare the distance between those 2. But I'm lazy. So now when I shoot, he should die. There we go. Cool. So now we've patched our grenade launcher to work with the new health. So that's cool. I'm thinking let's before lunch. Let's take a break now. But before lunch, let's add a health bar to this guy. So we have like a little bar above his head that shows how much health he has. I think that could be cool. Could be pretty neat. Alright, let's take a break until 11:35. Yeah, let's do that, because I need to hit the toilet. So, see you guys in roughly like 50 minutes or something. Bye!